positive recognition. Does anybody have any positive recognition before I move on to the donations?
I have been very, oh, sorry, did you?
Go
You
ahead.
go first.
No.
I've been very impressed with the amount of teachers that are willing to make items to be raffled off for Bulldog Backers Bingo, as well as, of course, the community support from businesses and everything that donate to that. But save the date, November 22nd, Friday, at the Goose.
So, just a quick update. We've had some records broke recently. Aubrey Weedman broke, or went over 1,000 plus set assists for volleyball. Brielle Burry broke the school record for digs, and she has 1,000 plus career digs. Caleb Quast, set a school record with 183 receiving yards in one game. Girls cross country, they took first in the conference. Mackenzie Westfall was she took first in the overall meet. So we had one all-conference, one first-team all-conference, one second-team all-conference, and then 5 all-conference honorable mention for the girls. Boys cross-country took third at conference. We had one all-conference, one all-conference second team, and then one all-conference honorable mention. And then we had 2 staff that have been busy lately. Laura Hoffman has been asked to speak at the Regional Nurses Group about all of the great things she's doing here at JWP. And then Aiden Demeray spoke at the CTE conference about his welding classes and the advanced metal sculpture class that he teaches.
Good. Anything else?
I think we had homecoming after our last meeting, so just congratulations to King Isaiah Barron and Queen Ella Oliver, and Mr. Lips Ethan Bourne, and Miss Lips Sophie Cousley. And then I also saw that Austin Sarda was the newest Eagle Scout member, so congratulations to all of them.
Well, wonderful. Anybody else? All right, I will move on to the donations that we've received. From Bulldog Backers, we received $5,332.25 for senior banners, Who We Play For screenings. The American Legion, $1,000 to the DARE program. Janesville Chamber of Commerce, $500 for marching band shirts. And these next ones that these next ones are all for the FFA convention. So I will just go starting with Grooming with Sunshine, $50. Kubat CPA, $50. Rick's Appliance, $50. Tesh Service Center, $50. Wasika Music Company, $50. Ali Services, $50. Autumn Acres, $500. Burry Trucking, $100. Davis Marketplace, $100. South Central Seed, $650. Julie Tesh, $100. Waldorf Welding, $100. Ginger P Designs, $50. Janesville Service Center, $200. Jay's Auto Service, $150. McPherson Crop, $250. And then the National FFA Foundation donated $2,115 for grants for growing FFA. And then these next ones again are the FFA convention. Ronald and Charlene Cummins for $200. Guardian Energy, $550. Floyd and Barb Hermy, $50. William and Patricia Hoverston, $100. Jetter Clean of Owatonna, $200. Robert and Jill Johnson, $21. And then the Bulldog Backers, a classroom rug for the Bulldog Academy room. Precision Chiropractic, $35 for athletics. Bulldog Backers, $1,500 for FFA. Alternative Fuel Resources, $500 for FFA convention. Minnesota State Fair, $100 for the FFA convention. Jennifer Mokel, $50 for the FFA convention. Guardian Energy, $100 for National Honor Society. Whew. All right, so do I have a motion to accept the resolution, accepting donations with many
I'll
thanks?
make the motion to approve with many thanks.
Motion by Tim Burke, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Laura Size. Is there any further discussion? Not?
Bourne,
Yes.
Size,
Yes.
Burke,
Yes.
Cahill. Yes. Elke,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Dashner.
Yes. Motion carries 7-0. All right, reports and presentations. Eric, you're on. Have anything to report?
So Erler kind of took most of my material. But you know, it's whatever. I don't really care. Other stuff, I guess, to add on. The football team got the 4th seed for playoffs, going against New Richland, I believe, tomorrow. The volleyball team got ranked the 11th seed out of 18. They go against Jordan tonight. And then the the cross country team is going to their section meet at Norwood Young America on Thursday. Other than that, musical is still going. We're in what we call Heck Week. So we're trying to get everything pieced together. There has been a lot of stuff about NHS and Student Council has been reached out to help serve lunches a lot these past few weeks. And some people have been coming in and helping, which is great and all that. But I think they just hired a new person or something of the sort.
Started this morning.
So they're fully staffed now?
Yeah. So, although it's fun, and I've done it multiple times, it's nice that they'll have the amount of people that they need.
Well, we thank you guys for doing that.
I don't think I have anything else unless you want to ask questions.
How did the homecoming tailgate hot dog and stuff go?
Good. I wasn't there because I was in Mankato performing in a musical. But I heard it went well. We didn't get as many people as we were hoping, but a lot of people showed up and gave free will donations, which were very nice. I actually tried to get a number on how much we made, but I never got responded to.
Okay.
So maybe next meeting I'll have it.
Okay.
But everything else with homecoming, I think went pretty successfully. I heard a lot of people enjoyed having the powder puff football game after coronation instead of trying to fit it in during Pep Fest. I also heard a lot that people were happy that the parade was back, mostly from the younger kids, because that was mostly the main reason why they did it, because a lot of elementary teachers were getting a lot of, "Where's the parade? We missed the parade." I
Kids
think they
always
just,
love a good parade.
I think they just want it because it's free candy that gets thrown at them, but, you know.
You guys were throwing candy?
No.
I don't know if they did it this year.
I was gonna say, I didn't get any candy. Speaking of homecoming, I think we have to congratulate this group of kids for not, toilet papering houses that people had asked not to, so I think they did right. We didn't have
Yes.
any complaints from anybody that
That's correct.
They were very respectful of the teachers who requested not to be touched. So thank you for that group, so.
Anything else for me? Okay.
Okay, we'll move on to the superintendent report. Thank you for coming, Eric.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Time to go back to rehearsal.
So for superintendent report, we have a number of things going on. We have 5 teachers that are testing education-specific AI tools from 3 different vendors. Then we have Adam is working on scheduling some phishing tests checking our cybersecurity here within the building. And then we put a new door controller in for E6 and 1 in the locker rooms, kind of as a pilot, and we'll see how that goes. And if we want to move forward with that in the future for all of the doors. It's nice because we can control doors with our phones now, so that makes it easy. The FIED department's excited for that. If they're out at the field still or need to open the door for a student to get back in the building, they can do that. So that part's nice. With QComp, we're almost done with the first round of coaching, so Casey's just about met with everybody. Letters is moving up and moving forward. Everyone's doing well for the most part on that. High school PLCs, we're getting a little bit of pushback and we're working through it. We do have South Central Service Cooperative coming in on November 4th to provide some training to our high school teachers. Both in the high school and the elementary, observations start this week. In the high school, late work and missing work is down 20% from this time last year. And behaviors are way down. They're down 60 to 70% from this time last year.
What can you count that for? Is it the group that left or just better structure around it?
I think there's better structure around it. So,
Possibly no cell phones.
possibly the lack of cell phones. So, we're hoping to start an emergency responder class next year in the school. And also, David's working with a couple different flight schools to possibly start some flight school stuff here within our school to get those students credit for it and some grants to help offset the cost. And they're preparing for a Veterans Day program coming up in a few weeks. When you look at staffing, you'll notice that we're fully staffed right now with the exception of our behavior interventionist. So we've hired all of the paras we need and we're set, hopefully, for the remainder of the school year.
How is the search going for the behavior interventionist?
Very slow. We've had a couple people reach out and ask questions, and we answer their questions, and they don't apply, so. Director of what else? We have elementary conferences coming up in the next couple weeks. It's hard to believe we're just about to the end of the first quarter. So, roof work should be finished by the end of this week. The solar project's finished. They did state inspection today. The meter is shipped in late November, and second week of December is when it should be fully functional. As far as sports, like Eric said, sections begin this week. FFA is gone at the National Convention this week. Friday, we host the Gopher Conference Leadership Training, so we have a couple students that participate in that, but then other students from the Gopher Conference come to our building for some leadership training through the conference. And then we start second year of Bulldog Leadership. We'll be starting soon with Nikki. Nikki's excited that we've hired a softball coach. MDE reporting has been done, so Nikki has to do a separate report for MDE. about the Title IX compliance, and we are in compliance with Title IX. Community Ed, we have a couple new activities. One of them is Parents Night Out. We have our first Parents Night Out this Friday, where parents can drop their kids off here at school. They have to sign up for it before, drop their kids off for a couple hours, and then pick them up later that evening. They'll have activities for the kids to do here. And then Samantha, Savannah, and Lisa are all attending the Community Ed Conference in Duluth this week. We have up to 25 kids that have signed up to be crossing guards this year, so that's good. We've had a couple programs already this year for zero deaths, or towards zero deaths, so it's driving, put on by the State Patrol for our sophomore class. So they've had the class, and now this spring they'll have some more information on it. They're wrapping up our attendance policy, so I should have that for our next meetings. And then we've been doing some work with Ruby Ranch. It's a private school within our district, where we'll be serving a couple of the kids there with needs. And then also we're looking at what support services what we have to do to give support services to Trinity across the street also, because it's mandated that we do that. Any questions for me?
Okay, we'll move on to budget information.
Enrollment has fluctuated a little bit, went down 5 students this last month. I know we had, in the elementary, we had a family move, and then we had a couple move in the high school. So we are down some. However, our APU is still above what our budget number was for this school year.
Okay. On to historical cash balances. Any questions on that? All right, on to committee reports. Has anybody met since last time?
The instruction and curriculum, we went through a lot of information with Casey. I'm trying to think of the specific things that we talked about.
And see the MCA scores and fast bridge.
Things started to look like they were going up. We
Mhm.
were looking at some of the data from the previous years, and they were looking pretty good. Not great, as, you know, we would like them, obviously, but they were starting to move up. Oh God, we went through so much data, I can't even remember what it all was. Anything else that stuck out that?
Again, REDACT, a lot of people involved with that. A lot of time and energy will be spent, on that.
Letters,
Letters
training.
specifically,
Mhm.
which Jeremy's covered a little bit. There's 4 people, plus all of admin that's going through that.
40 people. There's 39 of us total.
That will be trained by the train the trainers, of
Mhm.
which the train the trainers, there's 4.
3.
3 now.
3 now.
Yeah.
Yep.
We reviewed ACTs. As we're aware, they went up substantially from years past as far as average, due to the uniqueness of the junior class, now seniors. I think the average was 21, up from about 17, 18 of years past. We talked about Q-Comp. Casey's making a lot of progress as she is the one that will approve or is approving what the Q-Comp plans are. So those will be substantially different than they have years past. She said all the teachers have been doing a great job taking on things that are meaningful and will actually move education and instruction curriculum forward, not just to check the box as perhaps it was in years past. So that's positive. Like Laura said, we have a lot of work to do. There was some positive as far as many classes improving year over year. We had a couple of classes where we had some leaves by teachers, which left them
Yeah.
in a struggle. The one that I specifically remember, I believe it would be 8th grade class now, 7th grade last year. But we had to fill in with a long-term sub that wasn't great. And I believe their math proficiency was 19%.
Talk to
Reading.
What?
Might have been reading. Can't remember.
For some reason, I thought it was
It
math.
may have been.
And if I remembered right, Medford was at 9 for that exact same
Yeah.
class. I apologize if I'm wrong on
Yeah,
that.
no.
I remember 19%.
Yep.
For some reason, I thought it was math, but it could be.
But
could
that's
be
not in
reading.
connection with the long-term sub, though. That was a different class. So,
Oh, I
yeah,
thought it was.
no.
English was the long-term
English was the
sub.
long-term sub.
Okay,
But,
which is Fastbridge? What gave
We do.
English?
English is, well, we have MCA results from both
Right.
7th and 8th grade, and math and reading in both grade levels also.
Okay,
And Fastbridge, so we have all of that data.
okay.
we did talk about elementary and following the same curriculum in the future. So that will change as well. So, starting next year.
With new reading curriculum next
Yep.
year.
And has the process started for selecting that? Curriculum
In the
yet?
next 2 weeks, she selects the committee who's going to be working through it.
What we would tell you is there's no shortage of things that Casey is working on.
Right. There's a lot.
And that if there's an area
Yeah.
that one would argue could use some help, it would be, she will not have to work on, she did not have to work on class schedules as much.
Right.
So very positive with our career counselor making strides that freed Casey up from that, as well as Mr. Rysdam.
Yep.
Mr. Adams have been doing a great job, so there's been things that she's been able to not do, but there's no shortage of things that she is working on.
And I felt like any question we had, she knew about the concern or the issue or whatever and was prepared to answer it, so I didn't feel like anything was a surprise that she's
Number
aware
of
of.
things that it's gonna take another
Mhm.
year or two before
Yeah,
we'll actually see an impact on some of the changes we're making, unfortunately. But it's going in the right direction.
yep, I would agree.
Katie?
Nope, I agree. I was
anything to
impressed
add?
with, she always had a next slide if we had a question that
Yep,
would
yep.
address it, so
Yeah.
she definitely is very aware of what's going on here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of data. That's why I kind of forgot I should have been a little bit more prepared. But thank you, Kevin, for
Mhm.
your memory.
Okay. Are there any other committees?
Yeah,
that
any
met?
questions for us? I mean, it was a long meeting as always. There's a lot going on. I mean, again, what is our school? I mean, we've got our statement as to what we're here for, but obviously educating and, is one of the key ones. And so there's a lot of things going on, a lot of changes that are being made. So if you do have any questions, I would highly recommend you go on, it's on our website, right? The materials that we would have gone through, the PowerPoint.
I'll have,
I think she shares it with us.
Casey shares it.
Yeah,
Well, I would just say that for other board members, for that particular piece, I would just review Casey's PowerPoint that we would have gone through. while you may not get all the details on the questions that we went through, I think you'd find it highly informative. Again, year over year changes. We do some breakout, girls versus boys, reading versus math, just trying to understand if we're gonna have a larger impact on, proficiency. Again, boys tend to do better in science, girls tend to do better in reading, so how does that impact what changes we're making to try to get, boys to read better, more proficiently, and girls to do better in the math and sciences? I'd recommend you go through the PowerPoint. It's at the heart of what we're all doing here, as far as,
We have her send that to
Mhm.
the rest of
Yep,
us.
I wrote a
Thank
note
you.
that I'll ever send it.
take you
Yeah.
about 15 minutes to go through all the slides and at
Yeah,
least
it's quite a bit of
kind of understand where
information,
we're
so-
at.
Yep.
And then you also have the Excel where you can review where all of our peer schools are versus us. And while we don't like necessarily where we're at, it does help to know that all schools seem to struggle when you transition buildings.
Buildings, yeah.
I mean, there's a noticeable drop. Different schools transition at different times, and those transitions all reflect in a lower score in that transition year. And it's some we're aware of, and that we're trying to continue to bridge.
So for us, when you go building, since we're all in the same building, it would be our 6th to 7th grade, you'll see that drop.
As far as peer schools, we're smack dab in the middle. We're not the lowest, we're not the highest, we are right in the middle.
And as far as like, curriculum review and everything, is it more horizontal by grade level and not so much vertical over subjects? So
Mhm.
maybe that would help bridge
They're
between the
working,
six.
yep, to
That's
get the
another one of those,
vertical in there.
give me a year or two,
Yeah.
and it'll be
Yep.
better.
Yep, yep.
Because we are in a position now to hold, again, more teachers accountable
Yep.
to be teaching the same curriculum rather than, well, I want to do this, I want to do that,
Mhm.
of which I do believe we'll see positive results from doing that, but it's going to take a year or two,
Yeah, change takes time.
unfortunately.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep. Well, thank you.
but yeah, I agree, we're headed in the right direction, I feel.
Mhm.
I don't have any concerns.
All right. Was there any other committees?
I'm trying to think. I almost forgot that we had met.
Because we didn't meet, the
No,
policy
policy
didn't meet.
didn't.
No, I don't think so.
So, all right. And we will move on to the consent agenda. After looking at that, is there anything that needs to be removed from there to be discussed about further?
All of the policies are the policies that were on the agenda from the study session, and then these are non-substantial changes.
I just have one question on 609. The responsibility number 4, whatever, it says the school district must provide annual notice to parents of this policy. Is that the only policy that we have to provide it's a new item to it, it's red,
Mm-hmm.
the religion and religious and cultural observances? Like, how do we have other policies that we have to provide an annual notice to them?
No, we'll have to come up with a way that we're gonna do that with this one.
Okay, I thought that, I don't remember ever seeing anything like that in any of the other ones, so.
Could it be as simple as a school calendar?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it means by annual notice, if there's any guidelines behind that,
Could be that it goes in, yeah, I'll find out
yeah,
how other schools are doing that.
okay. That was the only question I had.
Yeah, there was nothing in the red line or even the newsletter that came out that talked about it either,
Nope.
so. Okay, and do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Motion by Kevin Bourne, do I have a second?
Well, second.
Second by Tim Burke. Is there any further discussion? No further discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0. Is there anything to talk about for the strategic plan progress?
Well, we could talk about a lot of things about, but I think the main things are that the letters training we're doing, you heard from the curriculum and instruction committee about the things that we're moving forward on, it's just taking time. The staff support, getting the training in here for staff support on November 4th. We have South Central coming in to help provide training for the high school PLCs and the stuff they're doing with accommodations and modifications in the general classroom. So, that work is happening and everything it's more behind the scenes. However, it is happening, and, a lot of this is the work that Casey's doing and pushing out with the staff.
Okay. On to old business. Approval and final reading of the policies that had the substantial changes. So the first one is policy 426, employee recognition program. Is there any questions on that one? All right, do I have a motion to approve policy 426?
So moved.
Motion by Laura Size, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Joni Olson. Is there any further discussion? If no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0. Any questions on policy 507.5, school resource officers? And this is a new policy for us. Okay, if no questions, do I have a motion to approve policy 507.5?
So moved.
Motion by Laura Size, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Tim Burke. Is there any further discussion? If no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0. All right, looks like we got a lot to approve in the new business. So, the certified seniority list.
I just lost my website. So each year we have to approve the seniority list, and then we post it in the staff workrooms. The staff has 2 weeks to come back and let us know if there's any changes or any mistakes on there, and then we consider those at that time. So we will be posting these after board approval.
Okay, any questions? If not, do I have a motion to approve the certified seniority list?
Yes, so moved.
Motion by Kevin Bourne, do I have a second?
I'll second. Or go ahead.
Second by Tim Burke. Is there any discussion? If no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0. The non-certified seniority list.
Same thing with the non-certified, we post it in the staff workroom. And this one we post in the office also, because there are staff members in the office that are on the non-certified. They have 2 weeks to come tell us if there's a mistake or if we need to look at something, and then we move forward with it.
Okay, any questions on that? Do I have a motion to approve the non-certified seniority list?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Tim Burke, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Laura Size. Is there any further discussion? If no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0. So then the next, 1, 2, 3, 4, to approve, these came up at a last month's meeting, I believe, and there was some things that needed to be looked at in there. So, the changes were made. I don't like that smile.
Wendy?
Well, when I met
Yes,
with
they were.
Jeremy, Annika explained why they did what they did with their, even though I
With
wouldn't
the
do.
one, with the one.
With the one, even though I don't like the way they present it to us, it made sense, I guess, what they were doing. So I don't know if we wanna pull that one up and,
You want me to pull that one up?
Occupational therapist, when there was a correction, she did fix that one up.
okay, so one of them
Purchase of
did
services.
have,
And then the
okay.
physical therapist, that one, she just kind of reworked a little bit. If you open up the purchase of service agreement breakdown. So this paraprofessional is a new position, and so they're estimating about 7% of this person's time would be dedicated to JWP. So the $14.50.05, the $238, and the $7 broken out into those salary fringes and supplies is $1,695.05. And that's just an estimate based on needs they maybe would have had last year for this year. And then the physical therapist themselves is at the top. And those are the actual hours that she worked, and that would be charged to the districts. So again, these are just estimates, so if you take her 79.5 hours plus the 7% of the para comes to that 88.50.05. So that's what they're estimating we would be charged for physical therapy for the year, that we would reimburse Wasika for. And if you look back on the contract, the way their office always does it is we break it out into 2 payments based on the estimate, and then in December, if we were charged less, you know, if the caseload changed and we needed less service, fewer hours, we would get a refund back. If we had more, we would pay them additional. So that's just kind of the best we can do with the information we have right now.
Is there a reason that the dates don't follow our school year? I mean, our school calendar year is July 1st to June 30th. This is a calendar year, so we're encompassing 2 different school years then.
Well, so the January 30th payment is like halfway through the school year, so it would cover those services. You know, so we pay halfway through the school year, and then at the end of the school year is what we pay, and then December 25 is after year end was done, they did all the cleanup, we got everything sorted out, and our books all straight. That's when they would
So, but then
calculate
if
that.
there's a refund, it actually doesn't go back onto that calendar school year, it's gonna go on to the next one.
Right, it would go into next fiscal year.
Okay.
Yep. That's just kind of how it always works.
Has there ever been a refund?
I couldn't tell you for sure.
I didn't think so.
Never
Maybe.
is. Never.
Okay. So the first one, do I have a motion to approve the agreement concerning instructional staff sharing between Wasika and JWP for the third-party billing specialist?
I'll move to approve.
Motion by Laura Size, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Joni Olson. Is there any further discussion? If no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0.
Sure it is.
Okay, all these lines just seem so close together.
Take a pay cut.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the agreement concerning instructional staff sharing between Wasika and JWP for the behavior consultant?
So moved.
Motion by Laura Size, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Yeah.
Second by Tim Elke. Is there any further discussion? If no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the agreement between Wasika and JWP for the occupational therapist?
So moved.
Motion by Laura Size. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Joni Olson. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0. getting there. Do I have a motion to approve the agreement between Wasika and JWP for staff sharing for physical therapist?
So moved.
Motion by Laura Size. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Tim Burke. Is there any further discussion? If no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0. And is this next one a new one? Special
No,
education?
No, that was on there.
That was on
there
We just
before.
pulled it just to make sure they were all this.
Right,
Okay.
and this is the agreement between South Central Service Cooperative and JWP for the audiologist.
Okay. So do I have a motion to approve the special education service agreement between SCSC and JWP for fiscal year '25?
So moved.
Motion by Laura Size. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Tim Burke. Is there any further discussion? If no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0. Okay, so upcoming meetings. November 4th at 5:30 is a school board study session, followed by the Comprehensive Achievement and Civic Readiness Report, which was formerly World's Best Workforce. November 13th at 7:30 a.m. is an election canvas meeting. November 18th at 5:30 is a regular school board meeting. December 2nd at 5:30 is a school board study session with the Truth and Taxation meeting being at 6 o'clock that same night on December 2nd. December 16th at 5:30, the regular school board meeting. And then January 6th, 2025, wow, at 5:30 is the school board organization meeting. All right. With that,
The only question I have with it is December 2nd. Lunchtime Solutions would like to serve a meal, the same meal that the students get served. So their question is do we want it served at 5:30? Or do you want to wait till after the Truth and Taxation meeting at 6:30?
How long does truth and taxation take?
Could take 5 minutes, could take 15 minutes. Wendy will go through the information. It's a matter of having, whether people are here to ask questions or not.
Well,
I'd
it
probably say-
depends on how long does it take to eat, ribeye steak.
Yeah. So,
and they want to know in advance,
they would like to know in advance.
sooner
We
than.
don't
or-
need to make a decision tonight.
Right.
Because it's not till December 2nd.
Yeah. Okay.
Just put some thought into it and we'll bring it up again.
Okay, perfect. Motion to, motion. Adjourn at 6:15. Did it ever
No,
connect,
luck.
I gotta
Wendy?
pick up Britt and change my
Oh.
shirt.
I gotta go pick up Malton.
Good luck.
Not changing my shirt.
There it goes.
Make sure you don't put anything